What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. And I just recorded 5 minutes of my last podcast episode. My podcast episode that's supposed to be uploaded today. But my mic wasn't working. Just realized 5 minutes after, so we had to start a new one here. You won't see that one, so that doesn't matter to you guys. But hopefully this one you see. So yeah, but yeah. So if you're on YouTube, you know what I'm doing right away. But if you, I'm gonna go over it. So no matter what you're watching it on, if you're watching Spotify or YouTube, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. What we're gonna talk about today. First thing first, as per usual, and go with the fantasy league. Always do that daily. First thing first. We'll review yesterday's USHL game, singular game, March 25th, 2025. And then we're gonna go over yesterday's NHL games, March 25th, 2025. And then we'll go over my prediction for tomorrow's NHL games. It's Thursday, so it's an NHL night, hockey night, and then my singular USHL game prediction. Yeah. And I just uploaded my official 2025 MLB predictions for playoff, regular season awards, regular season standings, awards, and playoffs on my baseball channel, which is linked in the description of this podcast episode. Speaking of description of this podcast episode, all my social medias, my basketball channel, American football channel, baseball channel, Twitch Discord, Spotify, my X/Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. USHL discussion Facebook group with about 5.2 thousand USHL fans. A group that I made myself on Facebook, and then another Saints for Life group on Facebook with about 1,000 to be Flying Saints fans on there. All that, and the paragraph and a half of who I am and what I do in this podcast. All the information you need about this podcast, and then another paragraph underneath of that of how to contact me if you have any comments, questions, concerns with this podcast. So yeah, check out the description of this podcast episode if you haven't already. A lot of cool stuff in there. And then subscribe to this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you like this podcast, like this video if you like this particular podcast episode. Following this podcast on Spotify is the same thing. Subscribing on YouTube, both would be phenomenal. One would be great, and zero would be fine. I wouldn't be mad, but one or the other would be great. Both would be phenomenal. Greatly appreciated. And then I'm pretty sure you can like a specific episode on Spotify as well. If you can, the same thing as liking on YouTube. Not quite sure if you can, but if you can't, it's what it is. Just leave it. And then turn notifications on your YouTube channel if you want to know every single time I upload a video on this. You'll go live, or whatever the case may be, on this YouTube channel. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into fantasy. There's 4 teams in the winners bracket, 6 in the consolation. I am number 4, so I face number 1, and then number 2 and number 3 are facing. I was winning the first week, and now for the past couple days, including today, I've been losing. The first round of my fantasy league ended March 30th. I'm recording at 10:34 p.m. Central Time, March 26th, so we need to lock in for the next 3 days. Will they come back and win? Because, yeah, I've been starting to lose the past couple of days, and it's getting worse and worse. I'm now losing 174.0 to 144.2. My top performers are Brock Besser, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jay Gunzel. His top performers are Jordan Binnington, Nico Hischier, Anthony Cirelli. And then on the other matchup, the winner of the game that I'm playing in right now, which is looking like leather right now, which we won't face if you didn't know, we'll face the winner of the Salmon Slayers, which is the Boldy. Salmon Slayers are smacking the Boldy 208.0 to 138.7 right now. The Boldy's top performers are Philip Forsberg, Darcy Kemper, and Matt Boldy. Salmon Slayers' top performers Phil Gustafson, Nikita Kucherov, and Dylan Holloway. So if you can hear any background noise, by the way, I don't know if you can. Yeah. Whoever wins a matchup between the Salmon Slayers and the Boldy, which look like Salmon Slayers, will face the winner of me versus Leather, which look like Leather. So it looks like it'd be the battle of number 1 and number 2 in my fantasy league for the championship right now. But hopefully I come back and win. Hopefully I come back, pull off an upset in the consolation bracket. But yeah, Daniel's Darren team facing off against Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs are winning that matchup 177.7, 136.9. Daniel's Darren team top performer John Tavares, Aiden Hill, and Tomas Hertl, 2 Vegas Golden Knights. And then Toronto Maple Leafs top performers Jake Andre, Austin Matthews, that makes sense. And then Sergei Bobrovsky, that one. And then Glizzy's facing off against Justice Scary Team. Yes, Glizzy's his actual team name. Glizzy's smacking Justice Scary Team 120.8, 86.6. Glizzy's top performers are Andre Vasilevsky, Nazem Kadri, Sidney Crosby. Justice Scary Team top performers Kevin Fiala, David Pastrnak, Evan Bouchard. And the Steve Smart team and Taco have been going back and forth for the past week and some change. Since this matchup started on March 17th, so about 9 days. And it's about to be 10 days ago tomorrow. But yeah. And then Steve Smart team is winning that matchup. It's just Taco 108.6 to 102.1. Taco Type performers, Timo Meyer, Jordan Kyrou, Zach Hyman, Steve Smart, Team Type performer, Jack Eichel, Nylander, and Rasmus Anderson. So that's what we're looking like right now. I really need to lock in here. For my fantasy team, I had Brock Besser, Jake DeBrusk, and I think I might have had one or two more Canucks. So I really banking on the Canucks to have a big year again. I expected them to finish second in the Pacific, right behind the Oilers. Yeah, I don't even think they're gonna make the playoffs anymore. Like they could, but they're fighting for a wild card spot, not fighting for the Western Conference title. Like I thought they were, and they should have been, but no, the Canucks want to go back to looking like what they did in the 2022-2023 season instead of looking like what they did last year. They just want to be mid for the rest of eternity. Besides that, the Canucks slander. We're gonna go review yesterday's USHL game, which is the second thing on our agenda today. Second of four things. First thing was fantasy. Second thing is review yesterday's USHL game. Third thing is to go over yesterday's NHL games, and the fourth and final thing is to go over my prediction for tomorrow's games. If you're on YouTube, I have a little overlay. The top is what my agenda in order, and then the bottom says the Intermission Podcast, and then in the middle is a little image of clicking the subscribe button, notifications, and like button, and then on the other side says NHL and USHL Podcast on YouTube, so you know what I'm doing on YouTube. On Spotify, if you're just listening, well, clearly you can't see that, but I still tell you at the beginning of every podcast episode what we're doing and stuff like that, so you don't have to worry about that. You watch no matter where you watch. I want to make it as easy as possible for whoever you watch and guys would prefer, so it doesn't mess it up there. But you can do whatever. You can watch it on both. That'd be great too. But one or the other is also fine with me. You don't watch it at all if you don't like it, but you know, is what it is. But Waterloo and Des Moines and Cabot Cup action in Des Moines goes to overtime. Very back and forth game. Very good game. And then overtime, Waterloo gets the job done 4-3. With less than a minute to go, Jet gets the overtime winner. His hat trick. Touched a 29-18 in favor of Waterloo. Waterloo does not capitalize on the lone power play opportunity compared to Des Moines does capitalize on the lone power play opportunity. Very good game for both teams. Waterloo pick up a huge W, and they're still trying to chase down number 2. Very unlikely. They're going to have to win out and get some help from Sioux Falls, losing a couple of games. Very unlikely to get second seed, but if they're going to, getting a W is what they literally need. They want to get a bye. So they do get the job done. They're just trying to get hot heading in the playoffs. We only got like 8 to 10-ish games for every team. I mean, not every single team, but most teams. Like 8 to 10 games left. So down the stretch here, this is about the time that you want to get really hot. Heading into the playoffs. Fargo's magic number to clinch is 3. So it's likely Fargo clinches a playoff spot this weekend. And Tri-Cities is 7, I believe. So they probably won't clinch this week at least. Des Moines loses at least one more time, and then Tri-City. Well, they need Des Moines to lose 2 more times, and then Tri-City to win twice if they win this weekend. Tri-City will probably clinch next weekend. Either next week or in 2 weeks. Tri-City will clinch. They could this week, but realistically, it'll probably be either next week or in 2 weeks. When Tri-City would clinch a playoff spot, and then the Western Conference 6 playoff teams will be sealed. It is not safe for some reason what Cedar Rapids' magic number is. Actually, yes, it does. I gotta check. It doesn't say like right there, like top, but it goes down every team's magic number at the bottom. Let me see here. Let me see. Again, sorry if you hear any background noise, by the way. Gunnar Conboy, is signed a tender agreement with the Green Bay Gamblers. I don't know much. And I hope for him that he's good, but for the Gamblers' sake, I hope he doesn't perform well with them But yeah, like 2 days ago, I believe, Dr. Demko returned, and yesterday, I believe, Jacob Chikrin signed an 8-year, $9 million extension. Definitely a bit of an overpay, for sure, but Chikrin's a good top pairing defenseman, but he's not worth $9 million a year. Definitely not. But you know what? Good to lock him up long term. Not good in the AAV that they did sign it. The weekly U show for the USHL. For the week for the USHL is Noah Yunez. Defenseman of the week is Xavier Alo. Yeah, Alo, something like that. Goaltender of the week is Caleb Hyo. He finished the week 2-0 with a .935 save percentage and 2 goals. Ryland Rooney also tendered with the Des Moines Buccaneers. That was 2 days ago. I had to check on this playoff thing that they play. Playoff picture. Here it is. So yes, Fargo sits a magic number of 3 to clinch a playoff spot this week. Both wins by them and losses by 7th place in the Western Conference, Des Moines Buccaneers. So if they win, that's 2 points with the magic number. If Des Moines loses, that's 2 points with the magic number. So if they win once, Des Moines loses once, they clinch. They win twice, they clinch. If Des Moines loses twice, they clinch. There's a lot of different situations they can clinch. It's likely that they clinch this week. Des Moines has a magic number of 7. Same thing goes. If Des Moines loses, they get 2 points with that magic number. Tri-City wins, that's 2 points with their magic number. So that's how that goes. And then Cedar Rapids, magic number is 10. So same thing goes. Losses from Team USA is 2 points towards Cedar Rapids. Rough Riders magic number, and wins from Cedar Rapids is 2 points towards the magic number. So Tri-City will probably clinch within either next week or in 2 weeks, more than likely. Fargo will probably clinch this week, and Cedar Rapids will probably clinch in like 2 to 3 weeks. So like the final couple of games of the season is when Cedar Rapids will probably clinch, assuming they do make the playoffs. They have a few point cushion. So it'll probably be in a couple weeks when Cedar Rapids clinches. It'll probably take a week or 2 for Tri-City to clinch, and then Fargo will likely clinch this week. At least they lose both their games and Des Moines wins their games. Which I'm not going to lie is kind of unlikely because Des Moines struggling right now, and I think Fargo realizes they kind of need to win. They don't need to win because they're going to face Sioux City in the first round, but they really like to get home ice advantage in the first round. If they want to do that, they need to start winning soon. I feel like they're going to realize that and pick up at least one W this week, and I think Des Moines not going to win all their games this week. I think they play 2. But they already played 1 on Tuesday, so I don't know if they play 2 this weekend, but they usually do play 2 on the weekends, besides Dubuque this week. But so Madison and Muskegon play 3 games this weekend, and Dubuque only plays 1, so they both play 2 more games this weekend than Dubuque, right? And they have 2 games in hand, so both the games in hand that Madison and Muskegon has will be played not only against each other, but in the same week. So for those 3 teams, so basically the entire playoff picture is going to be hugely impacted by the results of that Muskegon and Madison games, all 3 of them this weekend. We're going to really have to see how that goes because both the games that they have in hand on Dubuque are going to be played this week because they play 2 more games. They both play 2 more games against Dubuque, and all 3 of them are against each other on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All Muskegon. So that's very interesting. So after this weekend, Dubuque, Muskegon, and Madison will be tied in games. So yeah, that is that. Indubitably so. So with that being said, let's go on to reviewing yesterday's NHL games. Yeah, I gotta hurry up here because I gotta go to bed sometime this year. I mean, I got some time. It's not like I gotta go to bed right now because I get plenty of sleep. Not worried about that, but I just don't want to take too long because if I keep yapping, I'm gonna eventually keep going on a runaway train. But the Hurricanes outshoot the Predators 35-16, but the Predators get the W 3-1. That's just classic Hurricanes hockey right there. That's not classic Hurricanes hockey. They don't do that very much. Not to say they don't do that, but they don't do it very much. They do it. 34 saves, 35 shots against USHL is actually playing like what he should have been playing this year. But it's a little too late there, guys. The Blues extend their win streak from 6 to 7 games. 7-game win streak for the Blues. Since the Wild lost that night, they lost 5-1, which is the next game we'll talk about actually. The Blues are 2 points behind the Wild for the first wildcard spot, and the Wild have a game in hand. And 2 points you can get from 1 win is 2 points. So, with that being said, the Blues are 1 win away from tying the Wild for the first wildcard spot. So it's really, they're fighting to see if they play Winnipeg or Vegas in the first round, because if you get the first wild card, you play Vegas. Let's be honest here, they're not chasing down Jets. I don't think that'd be not impossible, not super unlikely, but pretty unlikely. So what's more likely lining up to be right now, it's whoever gets the first wild card will play Vegas in the first round. Whoever gets the second wild card will play the Winnipeg Jets in the first round. So I'm going to try to see who wants to play the Knights. Right now, who I'd rather play in the playoffs, honestly, is probably none of the above. Yeah. Moving on there, but yeah, the Blues, ridiculous. Absolutely redonkulous, bro. Absolutely ridiculous. Blues are actually low-key, might do something in the playoffs. Are they going to? Probably not. But, who played that game in net for the Blues? Benner, that makes sense. 24 saves and 25 shots against for Bennington. What a game from him. The Wild. The Knights handle the Wild on the road. They outshoot them 38-24. They get the 5-1 W. Eichel gets a hat trick in the win for Vegas. 23 saves and 24 shots against for Adin Hill. Adin Hill and the Vegas Golden Knights stay red hot. They're dangerous against the playoffs. That's more than likely a first round preview, in my opinion. So either the Wild or at least the Blues overtake the Wild. I don't think the Jets are gonna. The Knights are gonna overtake the Jets. The Jets, the number 1 versus number 2. Jets play the Capitals. Ovi gets a goal. He is 6 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record. But to spoil the party, it's Nick Ehlers. Nick Ehlers, 24th goal of the season, 128 into overtime, with the overtime winner. And the Jets, I believe, sweep the season series. Let me actually check that. Let me confirm. Yeah, they do. They beat them first time in overtime. I thought so too. So they win both of the 2 games these 2 teams play against each other. The Jets won both games in overtime. 3 goals allowed on 25 shots against for Logan Thompson, 27 saves and 29 shots against for Connor Hellebuck. Great game from Connor Hellebuck and the Winnipeg Jets to get yet another home win. Speaking of getting yet another home win, it's the Avalanche taking down the Red Wings 5-2 at home. 23 saves, 27 shots against for Alex Lyon. He could play better. He knows that. 21 saves, 23 shots against for Blackwood. He has a pretty dang good night himself. And the Avalanche, I believe, in like a 10-game home win streak or something like that. Ridiculous at home. So yeah, that's important there. Flames versus the Canucks. Flames gets the overtime winner. Nazem Kadri, phenomenal move in overtime. Jukes out Joey Daccord, pots it home. Flames pick up a huge 2 points as they're trying to catch the red hot Blues for a wild card spot. Nazem Kadri's second goal of the night actually was the overtime winner. Shot to 37-29 in favor of Calgary. It was in Calgary. And then to end the night, the Kings play the Rangers, and the Kings pick up a huge win. They outshoot the Rangers 33-23 in the 3-1 home victory. The Kings are one of, if not probably the best home team in the NHL this season. 30 saves and 32 shots against Igor Shesterkin, not quite enough. 22 saves and 23 shots against for Darcy Kemper is enough in the W. Kevin Fiala gets a pair of goals as well. Wait, I'm so confused. How did Philip Deneau get the first star, and Kevin Fiala got the 3rd star if he had one less goal? It's probably because Fiala got an empty net and Philip Deneau got the game-winning goal. But still, that doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever. If you got more goals, you should get the first star. At the end of the day, like if you guys get the same amount of if you guys both have the same amount of assists, whoever has the most goals should get first star. Right? Because they both had 0 assists. Deneau had 1 goal, and Kevin Fiala had 2 goals. Just probably because the Kevin Fiala's second goal was an empty net. They probably didn't have much impact on that. And then the only Deneau goal was the game-winning goal. So they probably gave him the edge. The second star is Darcy Kemper, which makes sense. I feel like Igor Shesterkin should get an honorable mention. They should make an honorable mention just for Igor Shesterkin in that game. That was actually a stupid good game, bro. Stupidly good. Actually ridiculous, bro. So my prediction for tomorrow's game is the let's get out. So for my prediction for tomorrow's game, starting with the Sabres defeating the Penguins in Buffalo. We know how good the Buffalo Sabres decided to play after the 20 points inside a playoff spot. So yeah, Sabres get the W. The Ottawa's defeat the Red Wings. pivotal playoff implications of this matchup. Huge for either one of these teams. Red Wings need a win there, but I think the Senators are going to fend them off. I think the Senators get the W. I think the Lightning get their revenge as a hockey club. They lost to them last time not too long ago. Pretty recently, actually, but I think the Lightning get the job done this time. And then the Canadians play the Flyers, and the Flyers is not going to. They don't score. I think it's gonna be a really, really close game. Actually, I think it's gonna be a one goal game ish around that range down the stretch. But I think the physical Montreal Canadiens are gonna be able to can put the puck in the net at a more consistent rate than the Flyers. I think they'll get the job done there. I think the Capitals defeat the Wild. The Capitals are pretty high, even though they did just lose the last game. They just before that they won like a 4-game win streak, and they lost to overtime to the other best team in the league. I think, and the Wild are not doing very good. I mean, they were actually on like a 3 or 4 game win streak themselves before they got demolished and dismantled by the Vegas Golden Knights. So both teams lost the most recent game. One was a little bit more close than the other, but they're relatively hot before that. But I think the Capitals are just a better team than the Wild. I think that's fair. I think the Blues need to defeat the Predator. They just beat them really recently. I think the Blues are one of, if not the hottest teams in the NHL. Win streak from 7 to 8 games. The Stars defeat the Flames. The Stars are on the second half of a back-to-back. But they currently beat the Oilers 3-0 right now as we speak, and I think they're going to get the job done versus the Flames. I think the Avalanche will defeat the Kings. Avalanche are like a 10-game home win streak, and the Kings aren't the greatest team on the road. I think they're below 500 on the road. Give me the Avalanche, get the job done at home. I think the Oilers defeat the Seattle Kraken, similar to the Stars. They're on the second half of a back-to-back, but they're just too explosive for the Kraken, in my opinion. I think the Leafs will defeat the Sharks. The Sharks are the Sharks, and I think the Leafs need to win. They don't need to win this game, but they really, really want to win this game. These are the type of games they need to win if they want to win the division. So, for sure. So, with that being said, that's going to do for today's podcast episode. Have a great either morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time you watch. Just subscribe to the channel if you like this podcast. Following on Spotify, same thing. Like this video. You like this podcast in particular, liking this particular episode on Spotify, the same thing. Turn post notifications to this channel. If you want to see every time I upload a video on this channel, go live or whatever, do anything on this channel, really, you got post notification channel. So yeah, hope you enjoyed today's episode 4 of season 10. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 5 of season 10. Peace.